all of a sudden I'm reading a headline about a month ago, and it's like The Rock to play Mark Kerr
I
in an
know.
upcoming feature film.
Yeah,
So can you share a
yeah,
little bit about how this is coming to fruition?
yeah.
It's so exciting.
You know what? It's one of those where obviously you're in the you have the mechanism to report on our industry and report on a lot of different things, right? Your storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really hadn't been out in any kind of format or anything like that. And I get a stray call from a guy that says he is Dwayne Johnson's agent, a guy named Brad Slater, who
Mm-hmm.
works for WMA, which is William Morrison Agency. And the
Mm.
ironic part is Endeavor, right, is the
Right.
one that group bought the UFC,
Yeah,
which is
cool.
the ironic, like really the ironic part about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a call, and I've had these calls before and don't really have, like going, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, like, okay, you're, the Rock's agent. That's great. Like having this really cynical perspective.
Mm.
And so I look him up online. I'm like, oh shit, like he's like he
This
is
is
the
the
Rock's
guy.
agent. So he tells me this story, and it was really good because so he says, hey, listen, DJ woke up in the middle of the night, and he's calls me, wakes up Brad, and says, hey, listen, I have an idea for the next project I want to do. And he goes, this is what I want to do. I want to do a story about Mark Kerr, and obviously I want to play him in a role. Now again, it goes to, I don't know exactly the content, meaning I don't know if he's going to start from when I was like 4,
Mm-hmm.
wrestling and work its
Mm-hmm.
way up, or concentrate on it. But you only have like 90 something minutes to hold somebody's
What a
attention in a
challenge.
movie
Yeah.
theater. Yeah. So anyway, Brad says, hey, listen, who owns your rights? And at the time, I ended up, way back when, I ended up selling my life rights, and I didn't understand that it's pretty complex what you can sell.
Mm.
You can sell like your movie rights, and you can sell like your book rights, and you can sell, so many different aspects of who you are.
Mm.
And so he goes, do you know who's going to have them? And I'm like, I don't know. So I gave him a couple numbers, and he starts doing the legwork. And I honestly thought it would take, oh gosh, like a year to
Mm-hmm.
sort it out. And within like a couple of months, he calls me back, and he's like, hey, Brad calls me back, says, hey, listen, I think we got this thing nailed down. I'm sending the final paperwork out with the courier today. And I was like, okay, like this is really
This
happening.
is happening. Yeah.
And sure
The
enough,
Rock owns
man,
my rights.
yeah, he owns my rights. He
Yeah.
owns my life story. He could do whatever he wants with it. The cool part is that the timing of it turned out really, really cool,
Mm.
because so this would have been at the end of 2020. I always get time kind of messed up. So it would have
Yeah.
been the fall a couple of years ago,
Okay.
when he was at Madison Square Garden, and he had the
Yeah. Right.
BMF belt. And so he gets a hold, he like texts me, and it's funny, I joke about this, like he texts me that morning. So he texts me and says, hey, are you available? And it's like, yeah, I'll check my schedule and make sure I'm
Yeah.
available
Sure.
to you. So anyways, he calls me, he calls me, and we had this great conversation. And he says, hey, listen, I'm going to make the announcement today. It's going to be to your fan base, the people that follow the sport and industry will know
Mm-hmm.
exactly, who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
what you're about. And he goes, you don't have to do anything. He goes, I'm gonna do everything. And I go, okay. And we had this great conversation.
Yeah.
So, out of nowhere,
It's
completely
so
out of
exciting.
nowhere.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
exciting. And your life is such an amazing story to be told. And I'm so excited to hear the potential that there's going to be a second chapter maybe after the Smashing Machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the cool part is that it's just, it's something that's completely unexpected. you know,
Mm.
and for anybody in the world, you know, if you're going to pick somebody, you have somebody ideally, like who would you want to play you, right?
Oh,
If you're
right.
going to have a movie,
Oh, of
and
course. Yeah.
it's like
What a
it just
huge honor.
happens. It just happens to be the guy that's got what 200-300 million
Right.
followers on social media,
Yeah.
and you know is the top. I don't even know what you would call him because it's just limiting to call him like an actor or a performer.
Right. I
You know,
agree.
he encompasses so many different things right now. So just really incredible.
Yeah, what a tremendous honor, you know. Yeah, what a tremendous honor. And switching gears a little, kind of about that, kind of the sort of the Smashing Machine, and not so much about the documentary itself, but I recently, in kind of in preparation, but not so much preparation, I rewatched it. And my wife is a documentary filmmaker, and she is not an
Oh,
MMA
wow.
fan. She could barely make it through a BJJ match, and I encouraged her to
Wow.
watch it with me because I knew she'd appreciate the documentary. And for the first time ever, I watched it with a different perception and a different perspective. And maybe it's because I'm older and a father and stuff, but I really wanted to ask you, you know, what was some of the, for better or worse, the impact of that documentary on your life afterwards? You know, I mean, I know you had your mother, or excuse me, not your mother, but your sister